Well, welcome to the game cooking segment. I'm here with Marie and Fred Daniele at Franco's in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Today we're going to be doing the venison meatballs. They have a great recipe for that, and just another way for us to use the venison. They're going to show us a couple techniques that they use here at the restaurant. We're going to also post every week. We're going to have the recipe for you at the end of the segment where you can write it down. We're also going to have the recipe posted on the website, so feel free to stop by allenprobst.com and pick that up. I'm going to hand it over to them, and we'll see if they can make some good venison for us.
We're starting out with 2 pounds of ground venison, and we usually do a cup of breadcrumbs per pound of meat. That's usually the rule of thumb I use. And when you're making any kind of meatball, what you should do is with your breadcrumbs you should soak them. You don't want them too runny, you just want them moistened, actually is a better word. With venison, it tends to be a drier meat, so you want to make sure that you moisten the breadcrumbs with warm water. Throw them in there. 2 eggs. Now for spices and herbs, we have fresh ground pepper, fresh parsley, a couple of tablespoons of that, dried basil, probably 2 tablespoons of that as well, dried oregano, the same, 2 tablespoons, and we have salt, and garlic, probably 3 tablespoons of that. You can never have too much garlic, I always say. And we use grated Romano cheese here at the restaurant. That to me is one of the best. It's actually Pecorino Romano. So I would say a good cup or so of the grated cheese. And there you have everything in there, and Fred is going to mix it up for us.
There's no rule of thumb to these recipes. They're variations, and feel free to supplement. If something doesn't agree with you, leave it out. If you really like something, you can try to put it into the recipe as well. I think we're about ready to go here. So we're going to bake our meatballs today, and again, there's different ways of preparing the meatball. You can go with smaller meatballs, larger meatballs, however you want to serve them. We bake our meatballs. It's a healthier preparation. A lot of times people will fry the meatballs, and again, it's up to your taste and what you want to do and how you want to prepare it. When you're forming your meatballs, it is important to keep them uniform, round them out and pack them a bit, tighten them up. If they're too loose, again, they'll break apart easier on you, and you don't want that happening. And it may not break apart right away, but as you're simmering them in sauce and waiting to serve them, that's when you'll have them break off. We're ready to put the meatballs in the oven. We portion them to a 2-ounce meatball. And again, this is strictly the venison with the breadcrumb and seasonings. We're going to add a little water to the bottom of the pan to keep them loose while they're baking. And we're going to put them in about a 500-degree oven for about a half an hour, checking them every few minutes, and bake them off, and then we'll be simmering them in our classic red sauce prior to serving them. So let's get the water in and get them over to the oven. Let's check our meatballs, see how we're doing with those. Oh, they look great.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
They browned up real nice. Still loose in the pan, looking good. We're going to take these out and start simmering them in our classic red sauce and get those simmering for a while, and we'll be ready to serve them up. What we've done now is we've taken our meatballs, we've simmered them off in some of our classic red sauce here, and just simmer them however long you want.
Do I get to have that?
Yeah, I want you to try that and see what you think. Do we have a fork for you?
No, we don't need a fork.
We're roughing it in the all outdoors.
Wow. That's fantastic.
How's that doing, all right?
That was awesome.
That looks good. I'm going to need to try one
Folks,
myself.
you got to try this recipe. I want to thank Freddie today, and I can't even I can't even talk right now. What do you think? Pretty good?
Delicious.
Yes.
Turned out real well. They're nice and moist. Great flavor.
They're fantastic.
Very good.
We're going to show you the recipe here. You can write it down or it will be on the website, but we'll be back next week cooking up some more game.